Good morning, everyone. Laura Johnson here from IMS. Really excited. Got some special guest speakers with us today on the line. Grant Smith and Skyler Ellerbach from Athene joining us, and we've got Matthew from BNP, who is going to be doing some deep dive into the BNP Paribas. So really excited to have all these gentlemen on the line with us, and should get some really good information today. As we go through the presentation, if you do have questions, just go ahead and type those in and we'll get those answered as we go along. So again, just for those of you who don't know me, my name's Laura Johnson, been here at IMS half my life. Did about 8 years on the admin side and been on the annuity marketing side now for going on 7 years. So um, anytime you need help with anything, don't hesitate, give me a shout. Would love to help you. So I'm going to just go over a few housekeeping things, talk about a few things about IMS here, and then we'll hand it over to the gentleman. So I'm going to first off start talking about our new producer bonus. So if you are new to IMS, maybe just joined IMS, maybe you're considering coming on board with us, this is something you've got available for me right out the gate. You got 180 days to qualify for this new producer bonus. Um, Hold on just a second. Someone's got a question going in already. Can everybody, I hope you guys can all see my screen, correct? Everyone should be able to, hopefully. So new producer bonus for your first 180 days. You will have an opportunity to earn this, what we call new producer bonus. You know, index annuity counts dollar for dollar. MIGA business does count for half, but as you can see on the screen, really great opportunity for IMS to partner with you with some marketing right out the gate when you first come on board. So whether it be helping you with some seminars, some social media, really what we want to do off those first pieces of business you write with us is partner with you on the marketing front and help you grow your business. Once you get done with the new producer bonus, we do move you into a marketing reimbursement program. So for every 100,000 of index annuity premium you do, $100 goes in a marketing account for you. If you do 100,000 of single premium life business, you get $200. And for every 10,000 of life target premium, that would count for $200 as well. So just a great way to kind of earn those dollars as you're writing business. I had a lady who she's been writing business with me for 3 or 4 years now and called me up the other day and asked what her balance was. She'd never utilized it and had close to 5 grand sitting in that account for her. So really great way just to kind of stack money and let us help partner with you on those marketing expenses. We also have a referral program. If you've been in the business any length of time, referrals are important to you. They are just as important to us. So we want to kick back and say thank you for those referrals, though. So for if you refer an agent over and he gets contracted, we'll get you $50 when they write their first piece of business. We will get you $100, and then going forward, you'll make some additional, as you can see, dollars on all the business they write as well. So, just a good way for us to say thank you. A lot of agents don't want to take on the responsibility of a hierarchy, so this is a good way for us to put some money back in your pocket and say thanks for that referral. Once you One other thing, we'll mention, as part of our name, insurance agency marketing service. Service is our number one goal. We're not trying to be the largest FMO, but we want to be number one when it comes to service. That's helping you from the pre-sale, case design, talking through cases, running your illustrations, making sure your training's compliant, making sure you have the correct forms. Once you submit the business, Amber and her team do a great job scrubbing the business for you, making sure making sure it's in good order before we get it over to the home office. And then her team follows up on that business every 3 to 5 business days um, to make sure that's moving through the channels at the appropriate speeds. We also are insurance based, so we've got a paperless contracting system, make it really easy for you to um, sign up with carriers without having to do too much work, just going out and approving a contract. So we think that's really beneficial for our agents as well. So really just want to be top of the notch service, Cadillac service. For those of you who don't know, we are on Firelight. So Firelight is an e-app, pretty universal from, I'd say, 95% of the carriers. So as you can see here on this screen, there's a lot of carriers. Majority of them are on Firelight. This makes it really easy. I hate remembering passwords, so going out to each individual website can be stressful trying to remember all that. So on our website, there's an e-app solutions where you have access to Firelight. So whether you're writing Athene or you're writing a North American or you're writing an Equitrust, you can go out to one spot and be able to complete all those apps on our website with a single sign-on. So we think that's really important. We do have a full service creative department here in house, handling websites for agents, doing social media marketing, digital marketing. Maybe you're new to the business and you need help with the logo design or getting business cards designed. All that stuff we can do internally. And like I tell my agents, the creative team, there's no cost if you're doing business with IMES. So if you're doing your business here, you do have access to that creative department. They do a great job for our agents. So if there's something you're looking to do, maybe a newsletter or do some marketing, reach out to your marketer, kind of walk through with them what you're looking to do, and they'll get you to the appropriate person in the creative team. On the page here, you can see our website, www.imesinc.com. Not going to go bore you with the whole website, but there's a lot of great tools, like I mentioned, e-apps for both life, annuity, and Medicare available on our website. You've got access to Annuity Rate Watch through our website. That's a great tool. I mean, I use it every day when agents are calling for case design. You have access to forms, a lot of great marketing things as well. On our website, under the support tab, there's a sales resource library, and this is just filled with a lot of materials to help you in the field. So, you got someone who says, what is long-term care insurance? You can go out to the sales resource library and find a 5-page document that tells you everything you would ever want to know about long-term care or on a fixed annuity or the one on annuities. What is it? It goes through what a cap is, what a participation rate is. I mean, it really breaks it down for clients. So, and all those materials are client facing. So really great information out there. For those of you who don't know, we do have an RIA in this office as well. Charles Jr. and his team do a great job for our advisors, IMES Wealth Management. On this, I'm going to just mention two things. Number one, if you're 65 licensed or you have your CFP, you can get registered with IMES Wealth Management. But I'm also going to talk about a client portion because some of us in the industry maybe not looking to study for the exam and take that exam. We do have a client program as well. Zach Regan, our office, handles that program for those agents who maybe are getting toward the end of their career and don't want to take the exam, or maybe just never really wanted to get in that side of the business. We do have a program where you can refer those clients up to Zach, and he will manage those clients for you. Nice thing about that, as you all know, when we walk into a household and a client has $500,000, we know that Athene's probably only going to take close to 300,000 of that. What are you going to do with that other 200,000? Because if you're not doing something with it, you're just allowing for another advisor to potentially come in and potentially take that client from you. So we think it's a really valuable thing to have this available for agents. So if you are interested either on just in general our wealth management platform, or if you're interested in the client portion of wealth management, go ahead and answer yes to that. All that's going to do is generate a phone call from Duncan or Zach in our office. They're just going to call, go through those programs with you, answer any questions you may have. The good thing about the client one is depending on the state you're in, there could be an opportunity for you to actually make some money on that as like a referral. Depends on, it goes back to the state, but several states do allow us to pay a portion of that fee to you for referring that client over. So just some really great information out there. Again, if you could answer the poll question, that'll help us keep moving through this webinar faster. But again, if you answer yes to that, all that's going to do, again, generate a phone call from either Duncan or Zach in our office. All righty. Now the fun stuff, I get to talk about trips. So with IMES, we've got the privilege of having two different trips qualifications going on right now. The first one is for our big Top Producers Escape, Top Producers Summit. We're really excited to be going on a Mediterranean cruise. Trip's going to be next end of August, September of next year. As you can see on the screen, there are some really great places we're going to be going. $4.5 million points qualifies you for this trip. Qualification started in December last year, but we've got plenty of time. We've got till June 30th of 2022 to get qualified for this trip for you and a guest. Again, it's just a way for us to show our appreciation to those agents, and we're really, really excited for that. The second trip we've got going for qualifications right now is we're excited to partner with Athene on this one, and it's to Hilton Head, South Carolina, to the Omni Hotel and Resorts over in Hilton Head, South Carolina. So really excited. The event's going to be in March of 2022. Qualification does end though in December of this year. Now I got a couple exciting things about this. Number one, it only takes 2 million to qualify for you and a guest. But the second thing is we just announced double trip credits for this trip. So any business written with Athene between now and the end of October will count for double points to this trip. So $1 million with Athene could get you and a significant other or a friend or someone over in South Carolina in March. So really excited about that trip. If you're curious where you stand on either of the trips, give our office a call. Anyone who answers the phone should have the qualifications by them and can tell you where you stand. Otherwise, feel free to just ask for myself and I can get that for you. And the last thing I'm going to talk about are our life and annuity academies. If you've been with IMES, you know we've been doing these for many, many years. And so we've got our first one coming up here in about 2 weeks now with Athene. Really excited about that. But we've got a couple on the books for just after the first of the year. What these are not annuities 101. It's not life insurance 101. It's in-depth concept, techniques, ideas. How can we help you grow your business? What tools can we put in front of you? What things can we add to, what pocket share could we have with you guys to help you grow your business? So it's really a great opportunity, not only just to get some good information, but you're rubbing elbows with 40 people in a room who are doing exactly what you're doing every day. And we think it's a really great value. And we love to be able to meet everyone face to face as well. So if you're interested in attending one of our academies, the one for Athene is full. We've got several planned for next year, though. Go ahead and answer yes to this question. That'll let me know that you are interested. We'll put you on the interested list for next year and make sure we notify you first when we've got the dates on the calendar. So if you can go ahead and answer yes or no to that question, I will then hand it off to Grant. So as you guys answer that, I'm going to pass it on over now to Grant Smith with Athene. He's going to just talk a little bit about Athene, and he'll be able to introduce our other guest speaker today as well. So with that, Grant, I am going to close down the poll and hand it over to you.
Thank you, Laura. As I work to just get my screen showing, can you see this right now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, everybody attending today, first off, thank you so much for your time to tune in and hear us, especially with our featured guests from BNP covering their index, the MAD 5 index. So you guys are in for a treat, but also want to make sure that just to reiterate the double points to come on along with the IMES Athene trip to Hilton Head, South Carolina. So here's my contact information along with Skyler's, and then Skyler's extension down below to help drive any questions in addition to our partners at IMES, of course, there as additional resource for you. So you've got our mugshots here along with their contact information. So make sure to take note of that if there's anything related that we can help out with on our end as well. So going forward, I'll be respectful of everybody's time today. So I wanted to quickly, just relay this. I'm going to do a quickly why Athene story now, and then just do a quick announcement on Roth IRA conversions, which have been picking up a lot of momentum here as we announced that as an offering now at Athene. But first off, obviously, a lot of you know the A+ rating, but I want to make sure that for those of you who have not heard, we're officially an A+ rated company, and we're proud to have that. So you can leverage that in your client meetings as you look to partner with a carrier that can deliver not just top of market products, but somebody with the financial backing with that A+ rating. In addition, we have FAQ guides now available. Athene has allowed the option for Roth conversions. So we are Roth conversion friendly. We have a one-pager that answers all questions. They want to make sure that you guys have everything at your fingertips when you need that case. If you want a client that's a little bit maybe tax adverse, or a more affluent client that's in a 401k or an IRA when they leverage Roth conversions, we look no further than coming over to Athene. We are here to help you. So let us know. Let Laura know, or your IAMS staff. We're going to be here to directly make sure that you guys have everything you need to make that sale, point of sale, exceptional for you guys. Now, again, I wanted to stop real quick right here and just address, why Athene now. We've been picking up a lot of momentum. We outpaced another carrier that starts with A last year, took over the number one ranked spot in the industry, and beat them by almost $800 million in sales, close to $1 billion in sales. And we're excited to announce that, not just the number one ranking, but the LIMRA results are out as well. And, we finished with another, exciting quarter that's going to keep us at the number one ranking. And we're excited about that, but we have our distribution partners with IAMS and, of course, their advisors to thank for that. So I wanted to stop and give you guys kudos for being in the industry and the positions that you are, where conservative allocation is really the future for the conservative market, for those folks in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, where you can get them a zero floor, uncapped growth potential in indexes that we offer, such as the BNP, and in some cases all at zero fees. And we're even seeing equity-like credits post to accounts. So it's pretty nice to be able to offer these solutions. But really what we do, and what I want to make sure I highlight, is renewal rate integrity. Now, I know a lot of concerns for advisors are, will a carrier hold that renewal rate? We want to make sure at Athene, and it starts at our executive level from our CEO down. First off, our clients is our distribution. It's not our policyholders. So our clients are going to be IAMS. It's going to be our agents and our advisors like you. So it's important that you know that. We want to make sure that you look good when you're at the point of sale, promising your client an index participation rate or a cap that's going to hold true and steady throughout that duration of that product. And that's an Athene promise that we want to make sure that we can hit. Of course, renewal rate integrity. Our renewal rate is completely transparent. You'll find that we have amongst the top record out there for renewal rate history. In fact, we've had 3 rate hikes this summer, in some cases where some of the competitors we have made adverse drops to their rates. So look no further again at Athene. We want to make sure that you have everything you have at your fingertips. We are not a one-trick pony here. We are now top of market for accumulation with our Performance Elite product. We're top of market for performance-driven income and agility. And finally, recently hiked, in the spring, we increased our bonus on our guaranteed income product, a product that we didn't talk about for 4 years. But now we decided we wanted to compete, and now we're screening top of market for clients that want to take guaranteed income from ages 60 to 75. We're going to be top of market there, 20% bonus, 10% simple interest. So you can guarantee to the penny what your client will take out when they want to take distributions. Pretty exciting things going on. And in addition to that, I'm going to quickly just showcase, I built this slide out, Skyler and myself. It just highlights a few of our top strategies, whether you need it or not. This is something we can send over to you, but it's just focused on guaranteed income, where to look. For performance-driven income, obviously you have agility. With the death benefit, it's going to be our Swiss Army knife. And for accumulation needs, our number one selling product right now is Performance Elite. And again, the Athene AccuMax is going to be that RILA alternative. That's great for also Roth conversions because it's a 7-year point-to-point scenario. So when your client converts to a Roth out of that, they haven't received any crediting yet. So it's a benefit to the client because they're not paying taxes, because the credit doesn't interest to their account until after the 7-year point-to-point scenario, despite locking in those gains each year. So the AccuMax is arguably one of our most competitive accumulation plays, along with Performance Elite. So I want to just make sure that you guys were aware of this. But let's take a look at our indexes quickly. We've partnered with some of the best financial institutions in the marketplace today, such as BNP, who you'll be hearing from today. But I don't let BNP tell their story and not steal any of their thunder. So I want to quickly just do a high level of HSBC and our newest index, one of our newest indexes with them, which is going to be the Artificially Intelligence Equity Powered Index. Then also the Bank of America in partnership with the NASDAQ 100 Index, which is going to be a pure U.S. equity index. So what you're going to get with these two, starting with HSBC, obviously, this is the seventh largest bank in the world. They're based out of Hong Kong, and what they're bringing to the table is something truly unique and incredibly smart. What they're able to do is they leverage IBM Watson, and it's reading current events, financial related data, and it's making stock picks based on IBM Watson to a certain volatility trigger that's allowing them to, you and your clients, to capture the most upside while limiting downside risk, and it settles. And most recently, as an example, on this slide, I'm going to quickly showcase one of your examples here. So how this works. So what you get is it's going to simply look at 1,000 companies. It's going to be identifying 250 of them, and it's going to be diversifying. But one example that I think is truly important with the Apex is how they leverage this artificial intelligence. What they're able to do is they take a look back in history and they look at an example. We most recently have been going through the pandemic, which started in the first quarter of 2020, still ongoing across the world. Well, what this index did is it learned lessons and it took a deeper dive into the financial arena and how investments performed during the SARS outbreak of 2004. And it's learning from that and making moves so it can adjust in a smart way, leveraging smart beta, a return that's going to help your clients hit their retirement goals. This is an incredibly intelligent index that's only available through an Athene indexed annuity. And this is going to be our Apex index, which is available in all of our products as well. So again, with the Apex, what you're going to get is it's going to be leveraging IBM Watson and artificial intelligence to help to pick stocks that are going to help deliver for your clients. It's learning from millions of pieces of data each day, going back into history to make future picks based on what happened historically. And finally, it's going to be your pure equity play, attempting to select just U.S. stocks that are poised for the most upside potential. And finally, lastly, this is going to be our newest index. This is going to be the Bank of America NASDAQ FC index. FC meaning fast convergence, and I'll get into that. But real quick, Bank of America, this is going to be the number one bank as far as consumer deposits in the United States. 1 in 3 people have Bank of America accounts, and this is going to be somebody. When we looked at partnership with our index partners, such as BNP, we want to make sure we're partnering with the best providers that are help your clients hit their retirement goals. And as an example here, you can see some of the examples of the NASDAQ 100. This is the modern day index of the new world, the NASDAQ 100. There's a lot of tech. You can see if you look back at the last 15 years, the NASDAQ has outpaced the S&P 500 13 of those 15 years. And so now we're able to give it to you through an index annuity only through Athene. But you can see some of the stock logos here, the companies that this has access to, such as some leading innovators with brand recognition such as Apple, Amazon, Google, right? And then emerging tech disruptors as well, NVIDIA, who's been a big stock winner over the last couple of years, Checkpoint, Intuitive Surgical. These are important stocks that we want to make sure that you can access all on an equity play through one of the largest return indexes provided in the market today, and that's going to be the NASDAQ. And how this works is it's going to be simply rules-based, a 3-step process. It's going to give you the access to the NASDAQ 100 index. Again, as I said, one of the world's preeminent large cap growth indexes out there. And what it's doing, I mentioned fast convergence. And what I mean by that is this index is doing your job for you. It's rebalancing every single hour. It's the fastest index rebalancer in the marketplace today, up to a certain level of volatility. And it's going to rebalance every hour. Most of our indexes rebalance on a daily basis. This one will do so on an hourly basis to ensure that they're mitigating that risk, but also trying to invest in the right areas to give your clients return. And it's going to be doing that by employing an innovative performance control mechanism that's going to help your clients really seek that enhanced participation in index returns. And again, our index participation rates are top of market, helping your clients get we want to say 4 to 6% is our goal for clients. But historically, we're proud to say that we've been definitely under promising, over delivering on those results. with our new buy-up rates we announced, such as on the BNP, on a performance elite product, you can capture up to 205% of the BNP's return. So again, I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of both these indexes before BNP goes in as well, because we're a fan of efficient frontier process here. Many of you may know Harry Markowitz. He won a Nobel Prize in economics, essentially the founder of modern day diversification, which means, his theory and thesis was written and all about how can one capture the most upside, but also preventing downside risk and loss potential and settling. That thesis won him the Nobel Prize, and it's what we are proud to really leverage here when it comes to helping clients pick the index choice to go to. So I wanted to make sure you guys are all aware of that before handing the reins over to BNP to continue. But with that, Laura, I'm going to have you pass the microphone and controls over to our folks and friends at BNP, and then we'll let them take it from here.
Great. Thanks so much, Grant. And Laura, thank you very much. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. My name is Matt Gadd. I'm here from BNP Paribas. It's my pleasure to be with you today. Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you so much for taking the time. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the BNP Multi-Asset Diversified Index, which we call MAD5. It has been one of Athene's flagship indices since April of 2016, and has been live for over 5.5 years, since January of 2016. It is close to 20 years of actual and back-tested history. So I'll focus on the index story for you to be able to discuss it with your clients today, as well as its recent performance. And finally, I'll spend some time walking you through all the marketing resources that we created for you and your clients to get all the education and numbers that you may need. Everything is all in one place. So first, we have a few words about BNP Paribas, the sponsor of the MAD5 index. So BNP Paribas is one of the largest banks in the world, with about 200,000 employees. It is a diversified business mix with over a third of its operations in the retail space in many different markets, including the US. Thanks to this diversification and solid retail base, BNP can proudly show very strong ratings versus our peers and a very solid balance sheet, as you can see on the page here. Moving on. When you look at the US, BNP Paribas has been present in the country and has contributed to its development for over 160 years. It now has different entities, the most famous of them being Bank of the West, which is our retail arm covering a large part of the territory in the Midwest and western part of the country. At the heart of our corporate and institutional banking unit is our equity derivatives department, which has consistently been recognized for its capabilities in designing successful products such as our proprietary indices. The MAD5 is one of those, and it relies on a BNP multi-asset flagship strategy that has existed since 2012 and has won several awards for its construction and results in 2016, 2017, and 2019. It even won the best performing strategy by the HF Journal in the quant strategy space. Now let's dive into the BNP MAD5 index story and how it is built on a higher level. So the BNP MAD5 index is an entirely rules-based index, meaning that everything is systematic and without human intervention post-launch. It relies on three core concepts. The first being diversification. So not putting all your eggs in the same basket. And this has been proven to bring outperformance through different market environments, much like Markowitz that Grant mentioned earlier. The second is dynamic allocation in order to navigate a wide array of different market environments, as every day the index rebalances its assets in order to generate the best performance possible. And lastly, it also incorporates a volatility control mechanism to offer a stable performance over time to our customers. Let's now take a look at each concept in a bit more detail. So the first step is to have a diverse portfolio. The BNP MAD5 index offers access to 8 components. In there you have US equity and bonds, European equity and bonds, Asian equity and bonds, as well as 2 commodity components. These components are complementary and are easy to track. Such diversification allows customers, again, to not put all their eggs in the same basket, let's say perhaps investing only in US equities or only in European equities, and instead to be able to take advantage of diversification in different market environments by investing more in the best assets at each point in time. The second step is the dynamic allocation. The components are rebalanced every day, which allow the MAD5 index to adapt very quickly to the changes in the market, much more than indices doing weekly or monthly rebalancing. If a customer is trying to change their allocation daily between different indices based on what they see in the news and what they interpret, that would be almost impossible. However, here, the BNP MAD5 index does it entirely for you. Every day, the index chooses the best combination of assets to generate the most returns with a limited risk. And finally, the last step is the volatility control, as I mentioned. This is implemented on top of the allocation, similar to most proprietary indices in the FIA space. This mechanism allows customers to receive stable returns over time by limiting the asset's exposure during times when the market volatility becomes too high, and by also re-increasing the overall exposure when market risks are lower. This also allows Athene to offer stable and attractive participation rates on their crediting strategies that are linked to the BNP MAD5. Okay, now that we've had a look at how the BNP MAD5 is built, let's take a look at how it is performed. So the first thing that we see here is the dynamic allocation between all the components. You can see that it actually varies a lot based on market conditions, which shows that the index adapts to those different market environments, as I was mentioning. In times when the markets are too risky, the overall allocation to the assets is reduced. See 2006, 2008, and even 2020 with the COVID crisis. And on the other hand, when things are going well in the markets, the index redials up on its exposure to benefit from the most positive performance. Okay, now let's have a look at the benefits of diversification and volatility control. So on the top part of this slide, you can see all the performances of the different assets. They all perform differently. For example, when you zoom in on 2008, gold was doing better than the others. At that time, the index chose the right combination between all the assets to return the best possible performance. On the bottom part of the slide, you can see that this has proven to be successful, as the index has stayed mostly flat during the times of crises. Ultimately, the customers are more likely to extract stable returns over time, no matter the market conditions, thanks to the asset diversification, dynamic allocation, and volatility control. We see the same thing here again. The BNP MAD5 offers stable and smooth returns over time, which fits the purpose of steady accumulation that's offered in retirement products such as FIAs. Over time, the index has returned on average 5.6% per annum, with less risk than other comparable indices. This includes periods of crisis, but also periods of exceptional performance, such as 2019, when the index returned over 13%. Now, if you look at how the index performed in times of crisis, once again, you can see the benefits of the index's robust construction. Everyone remembers Q4 of 2008, when the S&P plunged by more than 22% over the last quarter only. In that same period of time, the BNP MAD5 returned 3.9%. In a lot of cases, the index manages to find sources of performance outside of just US equities, and therefore is able to offer a positive performance to customers. Next up, let's have a look at the index performance over this past quarter in a bit more detail. In Q2 2021, the index returned over 2.5%, which corresponded to a return of over 10% on an annualized basis. Including Q1 of 2021, the index is up 5.7% over the first half of this year, and therefore over 10% on an annualized basis again. You can see that the asset allocation was rebalanced daily, but was still pretty stable over Q2. In terms of what contributed to returns, European and US equities were able to push the index performance up, while Japanese equities weighted negatively on the returns. The major positive contribution to the index returns came from the commodities this quarter, which contributed to more than half of the index's returns. As I mentioned, in Q2, a good portion of the index performance was brought by US and European equities. We saw the US equities rallying again to all-time highs, supported by a large wave of COVID-19 vaccinations and by a strong Q1 corporate earnings season. On the bond side, rates have gone down from their peak earlier this year on the back of discussions around inflation, providing some slight returns for US Treasuries, which brought some returns to the index. And finally, on the commodity side, oil experienced a massive rally, over 13% in Q2. This was supported by the recovery in demand post-COVID, as well as a limited output, which ultimately benefited our index. Now that you know all about the index construction and its results, here are some of the resources at your disposal to help you tell the story to your customers. We have built a whole suite of marketing resources that are available to explain the index to give you some talking points on its construction and performance. First, there is a public website for which there are no login required. You can go check it out right after this webinar and look at everything that's available. All of this is accessible to you and your clients at any time without any restriction. On there, you'll see some nice visuals of infographics that tell the story and break down the methodology in a simple and easy to understand way. There's also a video that can be shared with your customers. And you can also access all the data that you may need on there. We provide daily index values as well as in performance statistics. You can also have a look at the asset allocation over time and even zoom in on certain periods of time. You can extract all of this very simply via Excel. All marketing resources that we created can be downloaded from the website, or you can ask for them from Athene in hard copies. Namely, the most detailed piece is the index brochure, which explains the index in details. The second key piece is the index two-pager, which summarizes the index construction and also gives you key statistics on index performance. We also put at your disposal a two-pager about BNP Paribas, should you have any questions on the index sponsor. And lastly, we also provide a theme with weekly statistics that can be communicated to you showing the index performance and allocation. We at BNP are also available for support with such webinars as this one and as much as required. Finally, there is a contact mailbox on the website that I encourage all of you to use when you have any questions. It is mad.5.index@usbnpparibas.com. Okay, this is the end of the webinar. I hope that will help you. I hope that walkthrough gave you a more precise idea of the benefits of the MAD5 index and for your customers using FIAs, and of the resources that are at your disposal for further conversations. Thank you all very much for your time and interest in our index.
Well, thank you, Matt and Grant. Appreciate all the information you provided for us today. Just for everyone on the line today, you will be getting an email later today, first thing tomorrow, from Dustin in my office. That will include the brochures from BNP. I'll also have him include the ones from the other two indexes we discussed as well. And then I will also be following up with everyone in regards to additional questions you may have. One last thing I will say, if you aren't currently appointed with Athene and interested in getting appointed with them, go ahead and answer yes to that. That'll remind me to bring that up when we talk later, and I can help get that appointment going for you. So again, I appreciate everyone taking time out of their day. I know 20, 30 minutes out of your 40 minutes out of your day can be quite a bit. So I really do appreciate it. And I will be following up with all of you later. Again, thank you everyone who joined us. Thank you, the presenters. And I hope everyone has a great Thursday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Matt.